So in March, probably roughly March, I was working with this guy, Marcus, and I said, you know, the scariest thing I can imagine doing is getting in my car and living out of my car and playing music. Just driving until I found somewhere random and like pulling up and having that as a background and making a song up in that moment. And Marcus's reply is, do it. So I did it. I really want to make that clear. I'm not wearing my own name on a fucking t-shirt. This is Fuzz Meadows. I'm the Amazing Sloth Rider, and this is my story. I'm a musician. I've made my own drum kits before, like I've hit rubbish bins and things like that.
That sucks. Kick it. It's gonna be the one, man.
Then I got the sounds from that and put them into my phone or I had this Hansonic drum machine, so I put the samples into that and then I could run those sounds through pedals. So you'd hear things you would have no idea that it's like, you know, a rubbish bin being smashed or a car bonnet being hit. So it was like this organic drum sample kit. I don't know, it's pretty cool, I use it still. I'm a writer, I make stories.
It's early, so...
I make videos, usually music videos. I do challenges, and then I'll often make a video or a blog post about a challenge I've done and put that online. I kind of have punk ethics when it comes to a lot of the things I do. That do it yourself, I'm just going to have a crack, and I don't really care if it's not the highest quality. It exists. It's a new thing in the world and someone else can enjoy it. Do the project, put it online, done. Next project. So I've made all these things and I just click a button and they're now online. I'm pretty comfortable with that. There's a lot of distance. There's a lot of distance between me sitting here and you looking at this. Playing live, that's a different level. Now I've been in bands before, but I haven't had a lot of stage experience. My mate Sam, he's an audio engineer and he plays solo music under the name Cecil Turbine. Back in 2019, he was doing open mic nights and he said, come along and play some amazing Sloth Rider. It's really cool, you set up and you get some gig practice, like come along. I thought, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it one day. And then come 2020, there's no one day anymore. There's no days. In Victoria, in Geelong, in Melbourne, there's no gigs. There's no leaving your house. We're in lockdown. Still. There was no option of going to play gigs or even going to do open mic nights. All the things I've been working towards for the years prior just disappeared once COVID came. It's just super lucky that I was already doing this solo loop stuff and I've been doing it for about 10 years. Rocking up to a place and doing an improvised song, I was okay with that. I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but I've done a lot of it that I'm comfortable enough doing it. I haven't done a lot of it in front of people though. Done it with people, but not with an audience. And that's where the second part comes in, is the anxiety and stage fright. So this was pushing a little bit with that. I wasn't like hiring a venue or going to the Make It Up Club on a Tuesday night and going there and performing in front of, 5, 10, 20, 30 people, an improvised song. That's a totally different experience. But just the fact that that might happen, that was pretty scary. That was enough level of fear for me to keep doing it. When I was like, I'm going to play music outdoors, I was like, well, where should I play? I'm in Geelong. It's in Victoria, southern state. It's June. It was March when I came up with the idea. It wasn't until June that I had the equipment and the money and the time and all the stars that aligned. June's the middle of winter. Like, you don't really want to play in Victoria. It's raining, it's cold, it's wet. We've got beautiful beaches. We can't go there and play a song when it's fucking raining. And also when you got COVID, we're liable to get into a lockdown. So I thought, well, local's sort of out. Well, I'd like to do a trip anyway and live out of my car. Where could I go? I'm like, well, really there's only one place. When you think of Australia, you think of Uluru. If you're thinking natural landscapes, I mean, yeah, you got other things, but really Uluru is like the pinnacle of what it means to go to Australia. I'd never been there. I'd heard about it. I'm like, if I'm going to play anywhere, that's kind of my aim. I'm going to aim to get to Uluru. That's going to tick all the boxes, going to have this amazing place. I hope I can perform a song well enough to give it like the respect it deserves. Like, I don't want to play shit. I want to be on my A game. I'm playing fucking Uluru. It's like the biggest, boldest statement you can make playing music outdoors is in front of Uluru if you're in Australia. And that's like the thought of that, of like, okay, that's going to be busy. That's going to be pretty scary. I can't think of a scarier place to play. I don't know, it just seemed like such a wild, brazen idea. I thought I have to just try it. So when I'm looking at a map and going, I only go to Uluru, from Victoria you go through South Australia, from South Australia you go up into the Northern Territory. COVID though impacted things. On the 26th of May 2021, South Australia closed its borders to all Victorians. I live in Victoria. I could no longer go into South Australia. This isn't an international border, this is just a state. So I had to go the long way. That means I have to go a little bit east and north, from Geelong up into New South Wales, from New South Wales up into Queensland. Then I can go west and follow that across from Queensland, get into the Northern Territory, then go south to Uluru. When I'm looking at a map, I'm like, man, there's people spread out all around the country that I haven't seen for some of them a really long time. Well, it makes sense to just follow that, like see my friends and family as well as head to Uluru. Yeah, it would add a couple thousand Ks to the trip, but it was already close to 5,000 k's just to get to Uluru. What's another few thousand? So on the 14th of June, I packed up my car and I set off, stopping in at my grandpa's in Bensdale before aiming towards Mandy in New South Wales. I hadn't really thought about it more than that. My friend Marcus and my dad, he helped with some alterations. They made a bed in the back of my car out of an old pallet. Apart from some hinges I bought that let me lengthen the bed a bit, the materials cost nothing. I had everything I needed. There was a bed on the left side. I had food, esky, things to cook with, laundry stuff, clothes, spare tent, tools, fire extinguisher, chair, table. I was sorted for living. But what about my thing? Like, this was a creative trip. So I also had a guitar, an amp and a pedal board, and these all ran off batteries. I really want to make it clear that I didn't want to go busking. This was not me playing music for other people. This was music for me. This was me expressing myself.
My idea of success is not money. Not getting a lot of money. I think if that's your idea of success, then that's great. But it's I think it's not really why we're here. We're here to communicate, to share ideas and stuff, and I think that is successful.
It wasn't about stroking my ego and getting people to look at me or pay me money or any of the things people probably assume is what I did. It wasn't that. I'd be trying to generally find secluded places where no one was that had really nice scenery.
This is what I thought was cool, so this is what I wanted to do. This is my own enjoyment. This is what I thought was cool for my own enjoyment.
I didn't want to intrude on other people. There's nothing worse than like you go on camping and someone's got a radio on all weekend. Like, our lives are full of noise. Some people like to go out and explore these amazing scenes, amazing natural wonders. They probably don't want to hear what I make. I had to trust that I'd be able to come up with a song, and I had trust that that would happen. I had no real fear about that. I was like, I'm sure something will happen. Bound to. If I stand here playing for long enough, I'm sure a song will come out. Sometimes the songs that come out are shit.
And the reasons are real, because the reasons are always real. There's financial difficulties, there's family problems, there's questions of time.
That was shit.
And the hard thing is, the scary thing is that you can be, I look down a lot, so I might be down, going, man, that's not working. I look up and there's like 5 people standing there waiting for something. Like, nothing's happening, mate. Like, it's, Just pulling up at random places making music. Yeah. Bit fun?
I was trying to mix between cameras and sound type thing.
Yeah, I just thought something to do. When I left Victoria, Sydney was just starting to have a couple of cases of COVID. Now, they haven't had nearly the same sort of restrictions as Victoria had, so I thought, I'm not playing around here. So I pretty much just sent it straight to Mandy. Fairly decent drive. You probably could do it in like 20 hours or something, but you need to sleep. My car can't drive at night because it's small and the wildlife will destroy it if they hit it. So, I had to stop, road stops and sleep on the side of the road and stuff. But I headed to Mandy's. And I had a friend, Harry, who was also wanted to travel, so I waited for him at Mandy's. And I'm looking at, the news and stuff, and I'm like, man, in a couple of days, I don't know if I'll be able to get into Queensland. And then he rocked up. We had to print out QR codes. It was a full-on thing. It wasn't just normally just drive and suddenly in Queensland. This was like a legit thing. Southern Queensland is very highly populated, lots of people. And there's two reasons I didn't want to be there. One is because, COVID. People cross the border. Someone from Sydney can bring it up here, then you've got COVID. Brisbane or whatever. And I didn't want to get stuck in any of that shit. And the other reason though was because the more people that are around, the less open landscapes I can find to play music in. And as much as I was here spending time with my Harry and travelling and seeing friends, for me the purpose of the trip the whole time was to play music.
And if you have trouble, just get talking about
I had my friend Harry with me. He travelled with me along the way for a bit, and we're like, all right, let's get out of southern Queensland. Let's go up to the Sunshine Coast because I've got a mate there. Let's go see Josh.
But if you try and surprise me, fucking don't, because I've got so much shit going on at the moment. If you're coming up, give me plenty of warning so I can get shit sorted. But yeah, anyway, let me know, but don't fucking surprise me, you little cunt. Tonight, my plan is I need to get through some uni stuff and get some stuff organised.
The world needs more people like Josh. Everyone needs a mate like Josh. He came through for Harry and I at such late notice. He hooked us up. We didn't get to see him a whole lot, which sucked. We're just so lucky. I don't know how else to put it. So Harry had been in the Blue Mountain area. We woke up one day to the news that because he'd been in like an area where COVID had been, he had to find somewhere to isolate. He hadn't directly come into contact with anyone, but this is like a precaution. Is like, okay, if you have been there, you need to find somewhere and stay there for 14 days. I had a friend, Alistair, in Moranbah, and he'd put up this offer of house sitting. Moranbah is 12 hours drive from the Sunshine Coast. So while Harry went and isolated in Airlie Beach, I went to Moranbah to house sit. Fucking just did a loud jam here on the road to Moranbah. I now can keep driving all the way to Rose's house. It's nearly 1:59. I think I got here. I was setting up, I remember looking at my clock and it was 20 past. So it was a little 40 minutes to unpack. I think the video was off for 30 minutes and I played for 2 10-minute songs. So, on the road. Alistair lives in the right-leaning state of Queensland. I live in the left-leaning state of Victoria. Daniel Andrews is the Premier of Victoria. He is our state-elected leader. He imposed the lockdown laws when COVID-19 began in 2020. Alistair is not a fan of Daniel Andrews. I'm up in a place called Moranbah, which is in Queensland. And I'm from Victoria, about 2,000 k's away, and my mate got married last year and I couldn't make it because Dan Andrews, there was lockdowns and stuff because of COVID. So I thought I'd dress up for it. So I'm wearing my best, and I printed off a bunch of these. The thing is that when I went to the printers, they accidentally print them off really big. So I've got a whole bunch of things like that. So I'm going to cover his wall. And so there's the wall, all done. That's what he's going to be greeted with when he comes home.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's funny.
Oh my god, so funny.
Sounds like a love that.
Do it for him. I love doing an autobiography of Alistair Rose.
Actually, it was sent a photo to my dad.
What's your favourite angel on the tree this year?
My dad would love that.
I actually can't believe you managed that.
Seeing Alistair and Alex was fantastic. It's a long way. Like, it's a really long way away. Who knows what the future holds. It was great to see them and spend time with them and just play board games and laugh and just hang out. It was fantastic. From Moranbah to get to where Harry was in Lake Proserpine, I had to go through a place called Nebo. And I had once written a post-apocalyptic story about Australia and a guy walking from just north of Nebo, and he actually goes to that town. So I was like, holy shit, I get to go and see Nebo. Like, I've written about this town, I've walked through it on Google Maps. Like, what the fuck is it actually like? It might not sound like a big deal to most people, but for 4 years, I'd looked forward to going to this random town, and I got to go there and I got to play a song there. So I was so happy. I mean, look at that, man. Look at that fucking sky. In the middle of nowhere, relatively. There's houses down there, but I wanted to just not do anything. I just wanted to go, oh well, first down the road, we'll call it a bit of a wash. And look, the song might have been shit. The song probably was shit. It doesn't matter. It's still scary. Every time I get up there and fucking make noise, I find it scary. But that's not a reason to stop, is it? I caught up with Harry and I met his mate Tom as well in Lake Proserpine. I accidentally punched Tom in the face the first time I met him. I was showing Harry how to do this thing called a Superman punch. I'd had a couple of beers, and when I did it, Tom like leant into it and bop. But it wasn't too bad, he was okay. Lake Proserpine was awesome. We spent a couple of days there and then travelled north into Townsville and up to Cairns, up to the Daintree. I had family in Cairns, so I thought, oh well, while I'm here, I should see my family. I hadn't seen them for like 5 years. I hadn't been to Cairns for about 14 years. Also by that time, I could not hear out of my right ear. I'd gotten water in it and that had gotten stuck, and I'd lost hearing for about 5 days. So I really wanted to get that fixed. I overproduced wax, so I just had to suction it out. That being said, the change in mindset and headspace from one day to the next was massive. I got to Port Douglas and I met this guy called Kevin Sullivan, and he was doing this Sully Van tour, like taking his family around the country in a van while he played music, and it just really reinforced that what I was doing was right. That yes, like, I should be taking this risk. I should be doing something scary. And by now I'm watching my bank account start to really dwindle. People around me talk about like getting a job and finding work, and I'm thinking, man, I haven't even started my trip really. I haven't even gotten close to the desert. It's not time for me to pack it in and go to work.
The reason I talk so much about work is it's a scary percentage of our entire life. The amount of time you spend working in comparison to everything else you do is, when you add sleeping into the equation, it gets really intense.
Not much around here. After being in Cairns, I went south, got to Townsville, went across towards Katherine because I got my mate that lived there. That was a long drive. That took me about 5 days. I camped on the side of the road. So this is roadside rest stop. This is the sort of shit I want. I was by myself by this point. Harry went on down back to Ellie Beach, and now it's starting to get sort of quite isolated. Vast stretches of nothing, great places to play music.
It is such a vulnerable thing to make a thing and put it in the world, and it doesn't matter how many times you do it. It's a new experience every single time, and every single time it has an unknown element, and every single time it's scary. It is such a vulnerable thing to make a thing and put it in the world, and it doesn't matter how many times you do it. It's a new experience every single time, and every single time it has an unknown element, and every single time it's scary.
I got through the border checkpoint and into the Northern Territory. This was the first border that I'd actually seen police, like actually on the thing, checking everybody. It was pretty full on to get through. But I got through. There was no major issue. You're just suddenly aware that things are going up a notch. As like all the states, I'm having to check my phone to make sure that I haven't been to somewhere that's a hotspot. Because things keep changing, I can be totally fine. No symptoms and nothing. But there's really vulnerable populations in a lot of these places, so they'll often backdate when places are called hotspots. So Cairns started getting some cases of COVID, and I go, oh fuck, here we go. It turned into a hotspot, and that got backdated to the 29th of July. I was there and left on the 26th of July, so that was like 3 days. That was the difference between me being allowed into the Northern Territory, or had I already been in the Northern Territory, having to go and go into quarantine rather than spending time with my family, which is something I really wanted to do. You know, when I was there, I was like, fuck, I wouldn't mind staying here for another couple of days, maybe even a week. They were like, stay if you want, you stay, you know. I'm like, oh, I better keep moving. I don't know how I lucked out so well, but I did. You know, the whole trip was just lucky.
There's a lot of luck in life. There's a lot of luck. There's a lot of luck in life. There's a lot of luck in life. There's a lot of luck in life. There's a lot of luck. Did you turn left or did you turn right?
So I'm in the Northern Territory and I go to Katherine to see my mate Sam. The day I arrive in Katherine, he gets the keys to house sit his mate's place. His mate was going to Cairns, so we probably, crossed each other on the road. I get there and Sam's like, hey man, I'm house sitting this place for like 10 days. How long do you want to stay? I'm like, oh, gonna stay for 3, maybe 5 days. Like, we'll see what happens. I haven't really got a plan, but.
You just got fingered, boy.
One big night rolled into a few more nights, and then that turned into, just in the afternoons we'll have a little bit of gin, and then that would each night turn into its own little mini session, and suddenly you're looking at a real lifestyle. It's heaps of fun, like there's heaps of chilling. I was with my mate, we'd sit in the backyard, we'd drink beers and smoke cigarettes and talk bullshit, listen to music, and like it was great. But the next morning, sort of wake up a bit late, be a little bit hungover. Sam be like, what do you want to do? I'm like, fucking nothing, man. Let's just chill. I just spend time hanging out with my mate. We saw the gorge, we saw the falls, we saw Dog's Head Rock, which is probably one of the best attractions you can see in the Northern Territory. The thing is, after 9 days of it, I'd lost momentum playing music outdoors. So I'd wake up in holiday mode. It's not a bad thing, it just means that I'd wake up relaxed. Prior to that, I'd wake up with this real sense of purpose that I had to play music at some point outdoors that day. Now, I hadn't set off to go on a holiday. I'd set off to have like a real creative experience and challenge myself and stuff like that. This happened every time I was social on a trip. The purpose of the trip would go to the side, and instead I'd just socialise. There's nothing wrong with spending time with my friends, enjoying their company, and prioritising the brief moments of time I have with them. I've got this thing that I'm either like all in on creative living and projects and working through these challenges, or I'm socialising.
We'll be closing off other options. And life is short, and you can't do everything. You can't. You have to make decisions. And the very process of making a decision is also sacrifice. If you make decisions to get to a position, you've sacrificed all of these other options that could have been available to you. And that happens every day of our lives. Every time we make a decision, we are effectively making compromises and sacrifices.
And then COVID came. Sam's mate was coming back on the 8th, and it was the same day that this hotspot got declared. So he's crossed the border, he's in there. He had to go and isolate at his house. I couldn't stay at Sam's house. I no longer can stay where we were going to stay. So I had to just hit the road. So in that moment, like, COVID actually forced me into action.
I didn't turn this on to just sing Porcupine Tree. I just love Porcupine Tree. So here I am driving. It's 9:30 in the morning on Monday the 9th of August. And I need to jam.
no phone reception, and I'm really doing the trip I wanted to do. I had no one with me. There was no expectations to drink or party, put on them by myself or by others. There was no temptations. I quit smoking and I quit drinking the day I left Catherine.
51. Go. 56. Number 60. This is number 64.
I started syncing up my phone's voice recorder with GoPro footage.
Number 77. Post fucking roadside jam with shitloads of cunts. Number 84. Number 91.
So I'd turn the camera on and start the voice recorder, then I could sync them up in future. I'd see something, I had no one to share it with, so this was a way that I could share it with someone. I drove thousands of kilometres just filming what I saw. I'd film for hours and hours and hours. I'd constantly have a GoPro battery charging while I recorded with the other. I had a lot of thoughts going through my mind. I was worried about things. I had fears, I had hopes and dreams and things from the past and things I was hoping for in the future. So it was a lot of soul searching. But it was actually through that process and these long stretches of like isolation and the scenery being unchanging for so long, it was only through that sort of boredom that I actually came up with the idea of the film that you're watching now. Prior to that, I'd just been filming the songs I made. Once I became more isolated, I started filming more and playing more music. When I'd been south in Victoria and New South Wales, it had been raining heaps. The footage had water drops all over it, or it had actually fogged up. Not everything ran smoothly this trip. A lot of my equipment is old or second-hand, so some of the music stuff just fucked up. The Zoom which I was recording the songs with just shit itself. So the first 3 jams, I lost all the songs.
Is that recording? Fuck it.
Then there were things I fucked up and I had to just learn along the way. The tripod's like 30 centimeters tall. I have a whole video where I've cut my head off, or I'm facing into the sun. Also, like, batteries dying. You do something really good and then realise the camera actually missed half of it.
Of course my camera just died, so...
The guitar stopped making noise at the Devil's Marbles. It was really annoying because I'd found this Devil's Marbles is beautiful scenery, these giant like boulders that are just sort of stacked everywhere and stuff, really trippy. And I managed to, because I was driving a little yellow Honda Jazz or a Honda Fit, I could just squeeze in to sleep the night at the Devil's Marbles. And I woke up, with sunrise, and just before sunrise, so I was like, I'm going to get a shot of, the sun's rising that way, get me in shot. I'd finally taken the fucking time to suss out where the sun actually rose and set and stuff like that. But of course, I get the video looking good, well, alright anyway, and then the guitar doesn't work. So, like, That was a fucking ego fear moment, that's for sure. You know, like, I'm set up, sun's rising, people are starting to get up and walk around and take photos and stuff, and I'm there, and my guitar won't make any noise. It's luckily I managed to get enough loops and bloops out of it that I could capture them on a loop pedal and jam with that, and you know, not be too sort of like, oh my god, the guitar's not working, oh I just have to pack up and go home today. It's like, no, you have to make something. You have to fucking shake the guitar or you know, it would test me. It would make me actually, it was a real limitation on what I could do. It might sound shit, but I gritted my teeth and I did it, so I'm happy.
Think of yourself and your conscious self as having a little radio antenna. And if you want to collect messages from your higher self, from the unconscious to the conscious, it goes through your little radio antenna. And if there's a lot of static there, it doesn't come through clearly. So it comes through in a symbolic form. And the more the static, the more symbolic. The less the static, the less the symbolic.
The next day I might have been later that day, I thought I'd try it again, but I had a contact mic, so I taped the contact mic onto the guitar. The thing is, it worked, but I was trying to play the guitar. I was trying to do too much. I have a guitar that's got bass and guitar strings on it. It's just a prototype, but it works. I was trying to use it how I'd normally use it, and then I realised, like, no, you've got a contact mic, you're getting sound. Just use the sound, don't try and play guitar. Playing guitar's out. This is not a guitar anymore, it's a thing with strings, and if you can capture a couple of notes, you can play with your pedals to make the song.
That is not based on torment and suffering and martyrdom and angst, but on a joyful collaboration with the mysteries of inspiration, which I think is the highest and most interesting way a human being can spend a life. What it means to live a creative life that is not based on torment and suffering and martyrdom and angst, but on a joyful collaboration with the mysteries of inspiration, which I think is the highest and most interesting way a human being can spend a life. What it means to live a creative life that is not based on torment and suffering and martyrdom and angst, but on a joyful collaboration with the mysteries of inspiration, which I think is the highest and most interesting way a human being can spend a life.
And suffering and angst, a joyful inspiration, which is the highest and most.
In retrospect, I think it would be handy to have just something. Even if I brought the fucking baby bot. You just need something, an input that would work. Because, like, as much as I play guitar, I really play the pedals. Like, that's a huge part of what I do. There were challenges during the trip. It's wonderful living out the back of a car, but there's no privacy. There's none of the luxuries you're used to, like a toilet or a shower. You're living in the elements, so you get covered in flies. My feet were filthy and covered in mozzie bites. My hands started peeling in the middle of the desert just randomly. That being said, I enjoyed it. I don't need a shower every day, and there's often drop toilets at roadside stops, or, you know, you can go to the bush if you need to.
There you go, my first like bush shit. Worth it.
That kind of lifestyle doesn't bother me. It's nice to sometimes be uncomfortable, and then that makes me appreciate the really simple things in life.
I'm even tolerating the flies.
So the end of the trip gave me clarity on what was possible, and I was finally doing what I wanted to do. I had my car was all set up, I was living out of it. I'm driving, if I see a side road and it looks interesting, I'll just check it out. I'll go, well, where's this lead? And I'd take a road. I'd stop, I'd go for a hike, I'd spend, hours by myself without anyone, no one to talk to. I'd wake up before dawn, I'd be up before the sun rose. Like, I'd get up and phew, waking up to pack in the car, it would be 10 minutes less, 8 minutes or something like that. I'd have everything packed up and I'd be on the road. So I'd try and jam before midday, and then I'd feel like I'd won the morning. Like it didn't matter what happened for the rest of the day. I'd won the morning. This is a thing I've learned from writing. I like to write novels as well. And if I can get my hour in, or however much I've set aside, if I can get that in early, the rest of the day is a breeze. You know, nothing can really hit you if you're doing your thing. And for me, during this trip, my thing was playing music. Look, I eventually did find silence, you know, because that was really what I was probably looking for in some ways, is the silence. But the story I'm telling you now is not a story about silence.
This is a bit of a... oh, what do you do? Nothing you can do. Car turns on fine. Just got that big chuck fucking thing. You can steer, it's just fucking heavy. Like really heavy to steer. So the power steering's out of fluid. That's what my my hope is. If it's anything more major than that, I'm pretty fucked. Car starts at least. I was gonna go to Uluru today because this is the last roadhouse before you sort of turn down Uluru. I must just be out of liquid. That's the only thing I can think of. But there's definitely a steering wheel sign. At this stage of the trip, I had $1,500 in the bank and 2,000 k's still to drive. From the roadhouse I was stopped at, it's over 250 k's just to Uluru. If I also wanted to check out Kata Tjuta and Wataka National Park, that's Kings Canyon, I'd be adding another 1,000 k's to the trip. I don't know what's up with my car now, it's not doing it. Now my car's, the light's gone, the steering's back to normal. All that happened was I drove it, I filled up petrol. Seems to be working. Uluru. Steering's back to normal. I fucking don't know. Don't know what's up with that. That's not normal. The fuck was that? I hope it's not going to look like that car there. Oh god, this car's not happy. This is not a happy car at the moment. Let's see. What the fuck? Well, I stole it then. Seems like it's driving fine. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's really, really weird. I can't relax about my car at the moment. I don't know, they did the steering wheel thing. That means, going by, I read on the manual, that means it is to do with the power steering. I'd also opened up one of the things and I was like, oh, that fluid looks pretty low. And I nearly fucked my car. Like, I looked at it and was like, that's pretty low. I probably need some power steering fluid. And I was like, oh, I'll just like double check. So I got in my car and drove, and the light had gone. I just moved my car away from the Bowser. I opened the bonnet. I'm like, oh, let's see what that fluid looked like. That's brake fluid. So, had I just bought fucking steering wheel, power steering shit, put that in my brake system, would have fucked it. Would have fucked it, and probably very nearly did. Oh, I don't know if I'm that stupid. 8 cents a litre.
So I got to Uluru late in the afternoon. I'm driving and I just pulled over on the side of the road and played a song there. I was like, the closer I get, like, is there going to be heaps of people there? And you know, will I find somewhere? So I haven't even gotten that close to it, and I'm like, this will do. I'll just pull over here and play some music. I get back in my car and I drive out and see another site, and I'm like, do I just go home now? You know, like, I've driven here, I've seen Uluru, I played a song at Uluru, like, yeah, it wasn't right in front, but I mean, I was there, it was in the background, I physically saw it, I went on a walk, you know, I'd had an experience, and I was going, man, I could just wake up tomorrow and just bail all the way home as far as I can and be home in like 2 or 3 days, doing 10, 12-hour days, whatever it takes. Just don't turn the car off. Just get my car and drive and get home to safety, because I was feeling really uneasy about the trip. It felt like legitimate fear. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like anything. If you see a snake or a spider, or you know, or a crocodile or a shark, a person with a fucking weapon, that's fear. You know, that's legitimate fear. When you're over 2,000 k's from home, if you don't know much about cars and you're trying to turn your car on, it's doing this. That's a legitimate fear. I was getting anxious and worried, and I thought, I gotta go. I gotta pack up tomorrow and just drive home. But then I thought, I have got a friend I could call and ask for help. This is a consequence of my actions, so I'm not going to call up and beg people for money. You know, I don't want to be that guy. You know, I'm not going to go and do something like that. It goes against, I believe in integrity, I don't want to do that. But I will call someone and ask for, like, advice. I'm happy to do that. If people can, you know, help me and teach me or give me some guidance. So I called my friend Daniel, and just to ask for some advice. And he said, like, yeah, I'll give you some advice. He said, cars don't like red dust. And alternators don't like charging GoPro batteries all day. Slow down, turn the key, wait for to prime, and then turn the ignition on. Solve the problem. The fear that I thought was like this legitimate fear that I was about to get stranded with this huge bill to get my car towed or to get work on it, mechanical work, that all just evaporated.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Never stop. Never stop. Always reach out. Reach out to better yourself. Because when you things expand. You understand. You're happy. You're healthy. Don't stop. Never stop learning. Always reach out to better, because when you do that, things expand. You understand, you're happier, you're healthier.
I woke up the next day and I was feeling great. My car was working, I was very close to Uluru, and I thought, shit, I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to play in front of Uluru. I got to the Sunrise car park and I was like, man, there's a lot of people here. There's going to be a lot of people watching me play. And I thought, what I'm going to do is, before I play, I'm going to go to Kata Juda and go for a walk and do the Valley of the Winds. I mean, it's called the Valley of the Winds. How can you not? That's cool as shit. I'm like, alright, I'm going to go do that walk and clear my head before I because this is like, I've been building up to this for like over 60 days. It's been 2 months of build up for this jam. Well, the day before I played with Uluru in the distance, I wanted like a close, no doubt I'm at Uluru kind of jam. So I thought I'd go for a walk and just center myself. On that walk, I didn't see or talk to anyone for 2 hours. It was just reflection. And I thought about where I'd come and what I'd overcome to get here, and what was in front of me and what was behind me. And yeah, when I saw these giant, these formations of rock that have been here for so long, millions of years, I thought, how many things have been in front of them? Children, animals, birds, trees, everything. They didn't care about me. They didn't care about my car. I'm just a blip in their history. I'm barely there. And I just realised how insignificant I was, how pointless everything I was doing was. Some people might find that to be discomforting. I found comfort in that. I found comfort in everything I do is pointless and meaningless, so why not? I'm joining that list of pointless, purposeful activity. I'm going to go there and play some music in front of Uluru. Now, I talk about facing fears a lot. I talk about how, this thing was scary, so I wanted to do it. When I had the option of playing at Uluru, I could have just played at the Sunset car park. There's people there. There's always people there. The thing was that I didn't do this to play in front of people. I know in my head I was like, I'm playing at Uluru, there's going to be people. But that's not why I was playing. I was playing like for the place. I was trying to make music for the environment, for the trees and the rocks and everything around me, and to express myself. And when I'm driving to this Sunset car park, I see a turn-off for coaches. And I think, I haven't seen any coaches around here. I've been to the cultural centre, I've driven around, I've gone and looked around a fair bit. I haven't really seen any buses. I'm like, well, there's no tourists. Like, this is probably where I should check out if I want to play. So I go to this coaches Sunset viewing point. There's no one. There's not one car, there's no coaches, there's no tourists. And I have this amazing moment. It's just me. I'm at Uluru, and I can do what I intended to do when I set out at the start of this trip. Set my gear up, play music in front of an amazing background, and just be present in that moment.
That's 100%. That's 100%. That's 100%. Most of us feeling life because we're afraid of what everyone around you is thinking. That's 100% truth.
Fuck people. One thing you have to learn early in life. I didn't learn this till later on. I don't give a motherfucker. You can't care what anybody thinks about you. If I cared what people thought about me, you think I'd be yelling out here, doing 105-pound ruck, talking shit? This is who I am. Find out who you are and own that motherfucker. Tell people to go fuck themselves.
It's just funny. I just did a jam then at Uluru. That was good. That was probably one of the best songs I've done. Really happy about that. Oh, I've got to remember to prime it. So now I'm actually heading off. I'm going to go to find this IGA and then get the fuck out of here and check out Kings Canyon tomorrow and then hit the fucking road. Mum said there's COVID now in Catherine and Darwin, so like they're in lockdown, so I don't want to fuck around now. Kings Canyon tomorrow and get the fuck out of here. So because I've got to get let into South Australia, I've got another state to get through.
Instead of trying to live with COVID, we tried to eliminate it. It makes sense, we're an island nation. So as well as state border checks to limit movement and the lockdown of cities, we also have hotel quarantine or hospital quarantine. That's the next level. That is, you can't leave your room. It's a hotel, so people will bring you food, but you're not allowed out of the room. You can't go outside for exercise. You can't go for a walk. You can't go outside for a cigarette. You're in that room. Every state is slightly different. Some are more restrictive, others are more tolerant. A hotel quarantine, that's like something that's completely out of my control. I don't know if someone's been sick and I've been to the same area as them. By this stage of the trip, I'm in Northern Territory. It's starting to get cases of COVID. Lockdowns are happening in places where I've been, and I have to get through the state that at the start of the trip didn't let me in. Had they not let me in, I don't know what the hell I was going to do. I had $1,500. There was a chance at any time that I could end up in this hotel quarantine system, and it's $3,000 for 14 days sitting in a room. It's almost like a prison sentence, and it's at your own expense. I could pay it back after I'd done my time. I would have been able to work it out. I wouldn't have asked people for money, or if I had, I would have had to pay it back, of course. I really did not want to do that. The way I saw it, I was the one that left on this foolish trip. So this is a consequence of it.
So because you're passing through, you've got 3 days to leave South Australia. You can only stay, you can't stay more than an hour at either Port Augusta or Cook.
Alright, so I just passed border check. It took like a few minutes. It wasn't hard at all. The guy was very pleasant. He said, "What are your plans?" I said, "Oh look, just heading through." He checked my application. He said, "Go through." It's 8:15. 14 past 8, not earlier than 8:15. And I'm back on the fucking road.
All that fear and anxiety I'd had, it was wasted energy. I'd spent 24 hours fixated on the future, not living in the present. It was all possible, like from being turned away at the border to catching COVID, crashing my car, I've got no phone reception, anything could have happened. But a lot of these things I just saw as barriers to potential. It would stop me from doing something. Instead, I was aware of who was around me and I didn't act like a total fucking idiot. I drove carefully. I'd stop when I was tired. I'd try and eliminate the fears rather than be too scared to take action. Like I'm in the middle of nowhere playing music on the side of the highway. I'm in a bright yellow car. It's always possible that someone could then rob me when I went to sleep that night. I mean, I'm on the side of the highway, it's not like I'm difficult to spot. But I saw that as a barrier rather than an actual thing. You know, if I was having a high profile jam, I just didn't fuck around. It's not until the moment that someone's there at my car that there's actually any problem. It's just fear, it's just imagination, it's not real. I know it's possible, but I could either let that stop me or I could just accept the risk. Fear's good. It keeps us safe and aware, but you rarely grow as a person if you let fear control your life. So I got into South Australia and they'd said, look, you got 3 days to cross our state. And I thought, look, I better keep moving. But still, like, I mean, 3 days, 3 days is a fair while.
Okay. Number 114. Things are good, I just did a jam. Like, shit's fucking great.
Pretty much booted through South Australia. Stopped a couple of times, played some music, but we kept moving.
You might say, well, why do people drink too much? It's like if you like alcohol, that's a stupid question. Yeah. Right? It's like, why do people drink too much? Well, because it's great. You know, it's like, okay, so why stop? Well, you do stupid things when you're drunk. You hurt yourself. You compromise your health. It's really hard to get people around you. You tend to turn into a liar, and it screws up your life. It's like, yeah, but it's pretty fun. Yeah, well, it is. But you need something better than that. And what's better isn't being straight and not making mistakes. It's like that's all prohibition in some sense. What's better is, no, you need an adventure, man. You need to get out there and have something to do. Yeah. And something worth waking up for. And you need, that's the substitute for the addiction. Actually, the addiction is the substitute for that, if truth be known.
So I left South Australia and I got into Victoria. That's my home state. COVID hadn't stopped. All my friends and family had been going through periods of lockdown the whole time I'd been gone. My mate in Melbourne, Matty King, I don't think he'd gotten out of lockdown. Maybe he has for like a week, since June. It's now August. So I'm thinking, oh shit, do I camp like one night out somewhere in Victoria? I got close to home and I was like, fuck it, I want to get home. So I kept driving. I left a bit north of Adelaide, all the way to Geelong in a day. I wish I had to slow down and taken one more day. I got home late that night. I was pretty knackered and I thought the trip was done. You know, I'd left, I'd made it to Uluru, played a song there, and then somehow I'd made it all the way home without my car fucking up, or COVID quarantines. The next day I caught up with my family. I was hanging out with them, and when we were there we found out on the news that in about 2 hours, lockdown was about to start. So I'm driving back to my house, you know, thinking about it, and I realised it had happened. Like, COVID had finally caught up to me. I'd had 68 days of adventure, but that bit of freedom was ending in about 30 minutes. I knew I'd be locked down, but I had no idea for how long. Then it hit me. This isn't the end of the trip. This is day 69. Day 69 is this weird day where the adventure starts at home and time is not on my side.
What's down here? What's down here? Where can I go? Where can I go? If I go Buckley Falls Lookout, that could work. Lockdown starts today at 1 o'clock. It's in 18 minutes. So there's this sort of pressure. Like in 18 minutes, I won't be allowed to go outside. You know, I won't be able to just go and do anything frivolous. It's only for essential work or for the shops. So me going to play music outdoors, well, I think it's essential. It's fucking not in the eyes of the law. I at least got in this last jam. I don't know why it's important. This feels important. So I just hope that the ground's not too wet wherever I go. Wow. This is scenery.
When I got there, I was freaking out a little bit because there was a lot of people there. I was in my hometown and it's intimidating to be vulnerable like this in front of people I might know. That last jam had me facing all the things I've been fearing from the start. There are a lot of people watching me. I had to ignore my insecurities about what they thought and embrace who I am. It was my last chance to play improvised music in front of an audience. Because of COVID, I'd only get one shot at it. It was one song, first take, crowd watching. So I set all my gear up and I'm standing there and I'm just about to play and some people rock up. Now they had as much right as I did to be there. The thing was that I didn't ask for their permission. Depends how far away they are. This felt very close. And I thought, no, I don't want to put kids in a film.
Okay, so I did it. That was a bit of a fail. I just did one song. And there was people there when I was doing it. And these people came in with like trying to chill with their family and get photos, and I'm just like standing on this bench like a fucking idiot, but is what it is. I had to do that and I'm fucking glad I did. That was the last jam I'll be able to do before the lockdown. Well, the lockdown's now in session.
As it turns out, it was illegal for me to play music outdoors for the next 20 days.
It's fucking 1:13, so I think I finished the jam thing about 3 minutes past 1. Happy I did that, real happy.
Maybe this is just how day 69 was meant to be. You know, it was a weird day. I went out there, I played a song, and unlike a lot of the other ones, this one I can't really show you people. This is just, you know, something I've done. I've done a lot of random things. This is just one more random thing I've done. I don't want to get sued for it, so yeah. I'm trying to be respectful. This seems like the best thing I can do. Like any trip, there were people I didn't get to see. Partly that was because of me. I didn't give people enough notice, but also partly because of COVID. I had to keep moving. I went away, I came back, I had a great time, I had a shit time. It was all of the things, you know. When I'm social, I stray from my purpose. Like, I can sit down by myself when I'm isolated and say, this is what I want to do, and this is like really important to me. And then all it takes is like one friend saying, hey, like, what are you up to? And then I lead it. I'm like, I don't know, beer? It begins, you know. This is something I need to obviously work on. But for me, I found that having that time and space and everything was great. Coming home to lockdown, it kind of just added on to that of being, what is it? Holy shit, it's the 21st. Today is the 21st of September. So day 69, it's been a month since that. I haven't seen anyone. I haven't seen any of my friends. Oh no, I saw one friend. I saw Daniel the mechanic. I caught up with Daniel. He's a fucking good guy. It's okay to be shit. I think too many people try and be the best. It's okay to just do things for the sake of doing them. I'm not the best person that plays music outdoors. Definitely not even in Australia. There's a guy called Gary P. Hayes. Look him up. He goes into the Blue Mountains, he plays music. It's epic, he's got a drone, it's cool as shit, you know. For the music I like, I prefer a guy called, I think he's called Diagita or Diagata or something, I'm not sure. But he plays music all around, he plays post-rock, outdoors, love it. You know, so I'm not the first person that's done this, but this is just my story of it. I think that's really important. Like, find what your story is, find the thing that you like to do. You don't have to be the best at something to do it. Too many people stop because they're not good at it. If you enjoy it, just fucking do it. I'm still learning it, but this trip helped.
12:10. I guess you could say I probably won the morning. I'm going to call that a day and get out of all these fucking flies. I'm so lucky. But if I was scared and if I didn't just fucking do it, I wouldn't be here. I would have stayed at home. I would have gotten locked down because I would have been scared of trying something new. Nearly went home yesterday. Can't start fucking up. I got worried that I'd be fucked. And I might be fucked tomorrow. But right now, I'm doing pretty fucking alright. Go do something. Go do something with your life.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Never stop. Never stop. Always reach out. Reach out to better yourself. Because when you things expand. You understand. You're happy. You're healthy. Don't stop. Never stop learning. Always reach out to better. Because when you do that, things expand. You understand. You're happier. You're healthier.